talk a little bit today about, I talk about the four T's: touch, tone, time, and taste. And, they're all different subjects around, kind of the sound, the way we touch the strings, where you put your emphasis and that kind of stuff. But it occurs to me that it's taken me forever to learn how to get the right sound out of an acoustic that I want. And sometimes, that's going to change according to the song and the application. But, I used a pick for many, many years. And then I got to a point where I saw Mark Knopfler, actually. I heard Sultans of Swing, and then I went and saw the Dire Straits' first tour, and I saw that he worked without a plectrum, without a pick, most of the time, actually. And I thought, wow, that's a cool concept. And I know there's other people that do it. In Nashville, a lot of guys use a thumb pick, and then they'll use these two fingers for the rest of it. But I hadn't seen anyone approach it that way on electric. And then so it got me thinking about how to get the best tone out of a guitar. Now today I'm playing an acoustic, although this one has a little reverb inside it, a little secret sauce. But I wanted to describe what I think is some of the nicer sounds that I get, that I like as I come to experiment, especially teaching like this. I listen back and go, it's a little harsh. When Jason and I first started doing this, if I'm using a pick, which, it's definitely possible to get a great sound out of a pick, but sometimes it feels a little bright to me. And depending on where you hit the strings, obviously if you hit down towards the bridge, you're going to get that's much brighter. And as you move up the neck, little by little, it gets a bit softer, doesn't it? A little more bass heavy. And so if I'm playing, I'm listening to what's going on, and I realize, oh my gosh, I'm not being heard above the din. If it's a bunch of guitars going on or whatever, I might go a little bit this way, make it a little brighter to be heard, situation. Sometimes you want to be that way, but then again, if I'm wanting to be a little more simpatico, a little more mellow sounding, and maybe blend a bit, I'll probably move my right hand, which is so darn important. I'll move it up towards the neck a little and get a little more easy going, easy strum thing. And I've noticed a big difference, as you will too. Sometimes I'll have it just right in the middle. And a lot of it has to do with how you hold the pick and how what kind of pressure you put on it. Whether you like I like a medium pick. Some people like a hard, super stiff. Some people like a light one. Okay, I have a light one over there somewhere, but this one is fairly, it's like a medium, I think. So I like the sound of this one. And sometimes what will happen is I'll be playing along and I might want to embellish a part of a song. So I could be doing an easy strum thing, right? And then I want to embellish something with an upstroke maybe, or, these are all parts of the dynamic of playing acoustic guitar, especially with a pick. And then, there's there's a hybrid style of picking where you can pick with the pick and also your fingers. That's kind of a nice thing. One of my favorite guys for that is a guy named Richard Thompson. He was in Pentangle. He's got a great way of doing hybrid picking with a pick and his fingers, and wow, does he deliver. If you haven't checked out Richard Thompson, check him out. He does a song called, I think it's called Black Vincent 1955 or something like that, and he's in an interesting tuning on it. And wow, does he make the most of picking with a pick. Now, I noticed that when I was fortunate enough to do a couple gigs with Carlos and Cindy Santana a little while ago, and I'm actually doing some more coming up. We're doing a session together, but I noticed when he's playing electric, he'll play with the pick a lot, and then every once in a while he'll cut the pick like this, and he'll turn his volume down, or maybe the treble down on his electric, and he'll start playing with his thumb. You know, that style. Or, and he's using the skin of his thumb, and boy, does that sound different. It sounds way different than, you get that soft. So I myself, what I'm really getting to, I'm more and more lately prone to, and you'll get this from my lessons a lot, I like the sound of skin on the strings, well, with a tiny little bit of nail, but not a lot. I used to use a lot more for articulation, but now I'm a big fan of the softer, hey, be quiet, that's Luna. She wants to be a part of it all. So this is what that rhythm would sound like, the same kind of way we're playing, but with just the thumb. And that's really super mellow, kind of Jack Johnson kind of thing. So I'm a big fan of that. That's why I wanted to talk a little bit about that today. And then the other thing I like to do is, if I'm playing without a pick, which I do a lot, both electric and acoustically, not always. Sometimes I want to get a blues sound, I want to get a... Nothing wrong with that, right? Or sometimes I want to get a, you know... But I found that by freeing myself up from the pick, it kind of, I think it added a new dimension to my playing, and it was really hard at first, especially on electric, where I was used to having that pick, you know, kind of anchoring everything. But once I got used to it, I could get things going like, you know... Up a whole new dimension, and then you can also get a thing where you snap with your thumb and your first finger, almost like a bass player move. So there's a lot of dimensions, and then you can do cross picking, or you know, lead up, where you got a little bass thing. And I do, I cover a lot of this stuff at jimmydillon.com. So if you're interested in sort of learning a little bit about hybrid picking or fingerstyle, both on acoustic or electric, hit me up there and we'll explore that together. And I welcome any comments or any ideas that you may have, because that's how I keep this thing going. I read the comments, I appreciate them, pros or cons, whatever, you know, there's something to learn. And I guess somebody wants to say hello. What is this? Is this your tail here? This is my cat, Luna. I'm at my studio in Santa Cruz upstairs. I love this new studio. We just moved here from Maui, so I'm having a lot of fun. And I come in here from the house and get away from the grandkids. So yeah, hit me up. Let me know what you're into, and I'll play you out right now. Let's see, what do I want to do? I'm going to do something kind of... This is from an original song, more recent. That's some of the vibe you can get from. Okay, we'll catch you down the road.